Just before today's video starts, any of you that are interested in merch, I've got loads and loads and loads of messages about merch. Hang around to the end of this video. We're going to have the full update because our launch is about to happen. You'll find out all at the end of this video. Alright, so the plan for the day is, this is last shed we have available for calves. We're after cleaning it out, myself and Nicole here, we're after cleaning it all out. We just have to sweep up a few more bits and pieces. We took all the bits of tools and things that was in here out of here. There's a couple of things we have to do first before we can bring down Bo and her gang. One thing we have to do is these lights are all completely broken. Sorry about that, the glare of that skylight. There's nothing really you can do about that. But they're all broken in a way. The bulbs keep going. The bulb holders themselves are all corroded and they're just literally no good. They were good enough, I suppose, in their day. That used to be kind of a night light. We'd have an energy saving bulb that would leave on at night there on that one, and then these two would be the main that would be on with probably two 80 watt or 100 watt bulbs in them. But we're doing away with them completely. We're going to take this night light down and we're going to put a new LED light across here. Same as what we have up in the machinery shed, because I was so impressed with them that I am going to put them in every single house bit by bit. So this is the house that's getting one next. First job, get this up. Right, I think we're ready for the big reveal. Boom. Good light. The camera doesn't pick it up great. GoPros aren't great for picking up how much light there actually is, but trust me, that's a big improvement. But that's about it. I think that's the last one we'll put up the year. Next year then we'll do a few more upgrades, maybe the cabin pen and a few places like, but the LEDs, they're out on their own. They're worth every penny in the long run because you'll save a lot of power. And they're lovely neat, they're so easy to put on, as you can see there, they're so easy to put on as well. Right, next job, get these pallets in. Spare the Billy. Yeah. So we're going to put our cars on pallets. And normally what I do, everybody does it different, but normally what I do is I remove the backboards. I always pick the side of the pallet that has the boards closest together, because the last thing you want to do is have calves' feet, like a gap like that there would be too dangerous. A calf's foot can go down there and could break his leg. So sometimes you're lucky enough you can get a pallet that has one side with them fairly close together. And this one here, I'm not sure. Look at this side a bit better. This may be all right. But what I tend to do is I take off these boards and then I can come along and I can take a bit of time and just nail them a wee bit closer on the other side, and that leaves it all safe, because you just do not want to leave big gaps like that there too wide. Calf gets its foot stuck on that very easily, and certainly gaps like that. But you'll see on this one here, the far side is a lot closer together. So that's what we do. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to remove all these backboards and get these pallets all put in, and we show you the way then that we join them together and how we put a board across the front of them then to stop the straw from getting pulled down onto the floor. That is one of the most crookedest pallets I've ever seen. Definitely a Monday morning pallet that, so it is, or somebody who's just Friday night and just were fed up and is right. I'm going to throw it together anyway at all just to get it out of the way, but Jesus, it's a no-just looking pallet. Next thing I need to do is screw these together. I overlapped the timbers. This is not kicked in far enough yet, I don't think. There we are. So I overlap the timbers, then you screw them together. Very straightforward, that'll hold all them together. And then you see these bits of timbers we have here from last year. I'm probably going to have to cut a few more. I am going to have to cut a few more. Well, all you do is you screw them along the face of it like this. Like that, screw them into the face of it. And what that'll do is keep the calves, when they're galloping around when you bed a house, from pulling too much straw down onto the floor, because when they pull it down onto the floor, it's going to get dirty and it's going to get wet and more or less have to be thrown out. So it saves you straw. So I go the whole way around it, block that all off, and when we get that done, then we're going to bed it out. We're going to sweep out this house, we're going to fill that with straw, we're going to put some silage in there, and then we're more or less ready to put calves in. Aren't we, Cole? Yeah. By the way, I should have said, I never mentioned in the last video, Bo made a full recovery. Thanks so much for everybody who got in contact. We got more messages that was unbelievable, asking how Bo was after we mentioned she wasn't feeling that well. But the following day, we give her liquid paraffin, as I said before. Any of you who weren't watching, she just ate too much crunch. She was a bit lodged. It can happen to us all. We give her a bit of liquid paraffin, and I think you kind of know what might have happened a few hours later. Well, it did. We had a volcano of an explosion, and she felt great. She was on top of the world after that. So that's what happened, Bo. Not a bother to her ever since. Did I take this saw down with no battery in it? Oh, look, battery this one. Just make sure we're not cutting the feeder in half as well underneath. That's a saw. That's your fault, Nicole, you didn't measure it right.
No, you're the one that measured.
No, you measured it.
No.
No, I can only cut these things if you measure them right, you know yourself.
Whatever.
Huh? Look at that.
I didn't measure it.
I know you didn't measure it, that's why it fits. Right, what do you think, Bailey? What do you mean? I'm not done yet. She's almost given out. Anyway, we're going to put a bit of timber on this side and then we're done. We can bed it, get these calves fed. Nicole's just sweeping up. Sophia's petting the dog. It may not be pretty, but it's going to work. It's dead on. That bit of timber that I've got there, that's not great stuff. When that gets wet, it'll get brittle and it'll probably fall apart. So it'll do for the day because I want to get them down here. And that's the main thing, get them in here because we're under pressure in the other sheds. And we've 2, possibly 3 cows going to calve in the next 24 hours. So we are at a room, we need to get them down here, and it's time they were down here. So let's get this finished, get this thing bedded, get them into the shed. One last but important thing is to empty this drinker because it's sitting all over the summertime about junk and dust and stuff. So sure we get it kind of cleaned up a wee bit. I have to do a job on this drinker. I think the calves might be fit to reach it, and if they can't, sometimes I put a block just sitting there on the ground, a 6-inch block. They know then to come along and stand up on the block, like a little step for them, and they feed out of it. But I think Bo and them is big enough to work without it, but if they're not, what I'll do is I'll actually drop that drinker down a few inches, but maybe I'm wrong. We'll see what happens. Sophia's just found a very fresh looking key on the yard, and I've no idea where it came from. Sitting in the middle of the yard.
Like where that side is like that.
Well, one thing we know is when there's a key, there's a lock somewhere without a key, so we'll have to find out where that came from. The reason why we put this plank here in the corner is that calves would do is, when you put it inside, as everybody knows, first thing calves want to do is want to get up on top of it and stand on top of it. So when you put this here on, when we slide in the barrel, they can't, because this is up against them, and it's sort of that problem, just an up a timber across. So handy, but Jesus, it was so vital to put in, and it left them that the silage is always nice and clean, and no more of that was happening. Oh, one of my tyres fell down in the pit. So yeah, eventually we get this whole area here roofed over. When this crush is gone and a new crush is built in the other yard where I talked about before, we'll get a wall built across there at the top, and we'll put a roof over this place completely, and then we will get this all ready for calves as well. This will be a big area for calves, so it'll work super. That's the plan anyway. That tyre for starters. Right girls, the new accommodation is ready, ladies. Let's go. As you can see, Bo, before we do move, Bo is back to full health. Never really was too bad. She's got her horns removed. That's another thing I wanted to mention before we move calves. We dehorn our calves, obviously, as you can see. We don't have cows with any horns on them. But I've watched a video a couple of nights ago on YouTube of a fella sculling, what he calls sculling calves, dehorning calves, or debudding calves. And I couldn't get over the amount of rooting he was doing, all because he was doing it the wrong way. He was burning the little buds off the calves' heads without using any kind of a freezing agent, and he was standing on them on the ground. It was the most horrific looking thing I ever seen, and it's not the way you do it. There's a bottle of stuff you can get which is cheap as chips, and all you do is you get about 2 ml and you inject it just above the calf's eye. There's a little kind of a groove above a calf's eye, and there's a hollow in the centre. So there's just behind the calf's eye here, if you run your finger, there's a little kind of like 2 bones, and in the centre of them bones there's a hollow, like around a bit there between their ear and their eye. You put about 2 ml, 2.5 ml of an injection into it. It's so easy done. Leave the calf for about 15 minutes, and you could scull the calf with the calf standing up, sucking your finger. Never feel a thing, and that's the way you should do it. Then you come along with a bit of a galvanised aluminium spray or something like that. As you can see on mine, there's a little bit of aluminium spray on top of what do we call her? Snowball. They have them all named now. Put the little bit of spray in on top of the horn, seals the wound. It'll heal over very, very quickly, and that's it, job done. We done 7 calves here the other day in about 10 minutes. It just was a pleasure to do. So yeah, let's get them moved. Right, come on you. You stay there. You're not coming back out again. You stay there. Back in. Right. That's your friends. Come on. I need your friends there. Come on. Right, come on. Jesus Christ. Put the back in. Put the back in. Right, this is turning into a bit of a chore now. We cannot control them. They're going tin mad. Yeah, they're having the time of their life. Oh, you can't blame them. Come on, Bo. Yeah, maybe she should win this himself. Right. Jesus, go handy. You're going to break your leg. Right. Oh, we're in. Get them in quick. Get the door closed. They'll come back out again. You're not coming by me this time, miss. Oh no. Jesus. Just plough straight for you. Nice for you. Go on. Go on back out again. Oh jeez, the blue sticks in the way now. Yeah. That's stick down. Back in. Oh mother of God. Right, close the door before they get out again. Let's get over. Okay, now we're smoking. We're sucking diesel now. Out of breath? They've got big. They've done terribly well. It's only when you have them out in the yard and you realise the power of them. They've definitely got big. There's no doubt about it. And I think girls used to have them totally spiked, and that's what the main problem is, because yeah, they have no fear in them whatsoever. Anyway, they'll be happy now. As you can see, Bo is 100% real character. That's just one way of putting it. A real character, up to mischief all the time, up to things you shouldn't be at, and knows it. But yeah, Just the kids have them spoiled. That's all it is. We'll get up now to the next shed. We'll leave them alone here to gallop around. I'm sure all that bedding will be down here by the time we come back, but that's just part of the game. This gate, just go across here. We just hook it in like that and leave the door open when it's warm so that we can plenty of air. Yes, I suffer with my sinuses. I'm a straw and that gets kicked up. I start into this fit of sneezing that I can't stop until I nearly blow my nose off. Being a farmer and having hay fever or sinus trouble doesn't always work hand in hand. Anyway, next job, get these other calves sorted. These two, and that one. Yeah. You can if you want, yeah. Best luck. Yeah. That bike can be a bit of a rodeo now, be careful. No, let me do that. I'll actually do that one just in case. Up you get. That one. You steer and I'll drive. There you go. As you can see, folks, I talked about the Aberdeen Angus calves. We use the same bull, ZTP, I think it is, of Progressive Genetics. Great bull that we found. Calf there as well. Same bull, similar style calf, nice big square back, just a lovely, lovely example of an animal. And this is just a younger animal here. About 3 days old. That one there is about a week old. And that one's a week old. They were born the same day, actually. Do you remember, folks, probably back about a week ago on Instagram, we had a little tiny Friesian heifer. Well, this is it here now. And let me tell you, girls, what's it like? An absolute hyper idiot. Jumps across everything. Would do the 4-lon across here, you'd swear it was the Grand National. Can clear these barriers without even touching them. An unbelievable little calf. It's all the time rearing and kicking up the ground, ready to go, as you can see there. So a good character. Thriving, absolutely thriving. So the jacket on, you'll not find that calf in another 2 weeks' time. It'll be as big as the rest of them. Just sometimes you get a handy wee calf like that, but very, very, very healthy and out of a good bull, and should become a real good asset to the farm. Good stuff. So they'll investigate out there themselves, have to get used to themselves. They're kind of afraid of each other. And the bit of bedding, the bit of straw, they get them on their crunch now, the fresh water there, and we'll be on to this now tonight. It's just going to take a little while to realise what in the name of God is going on. So before we leave the calves, you might notice there's 3 calves not tagged. Well, I purposely left these calves not tagged because I actually wanted to show you the way we tag our calves, because it's a question I get asked a lot on the channel. Everybody can tag their calves differently. It all depends what kind of a procedure you have. First of all, I used to do it the old paper way. I used to fill out the piece of paper you used to get in the tag box. You actually don't get that anymore. And I used to send it in when you know something, there's no harm, you don't get it anymore, because it's not the way of doing it. Once you figure out the way to do it online, it's so easy to do. A couple of ways you can do it. First of which, you can go on ag food. The way I do it is what a lot of people have is herd watch. I know the last day I was dosing cattle, I said Nicole was here, which is here beside me again. She was filling out the herd watch as I was dosing the cattle. And then I got a load of response, people saying, oh, we've herd watch, we've herd watch. Look, it's very common now around Ireland. I was probably within the first couple of hundred that signed up to it way back at the beginning. And I've used it ever since, and I find it great because, especially when you're on a board BIA inspection, that's where it shines. Now at the beginning I was using ag food to register my calves, which was handy enough, and I was still registering them online, I was still writing it in the book and keeping it like that for a long time, and then just using herd watch to check which cows were being bred, because when we AI our cows, we do it through Progressive Genetics. He comes in the eyes, he has a little bit of a digital device that he brings, he enters the cow's tag number, he enters the straw that he used, and that gets uploaded then into Progressive Genetics, and then Progressive Genetics shares it with herd watch. That is one of the most handy things on it, because I can walk out into my yard or in the field or anywhere, I can look at a cow and say, I wonder when she's due, or I wonder when she was last AI'd, or I wonder is she coming near her 3 weeks. Herd watch, click it on, just go into the app, open straight away. It works offline, so it doesn't have to be online to work. It works just the same offline, and all you have to do is enter the cow's number, and then it'll bring up all her details. It'll bring up every calf that was ever registered to her. It'll tell you when she's going to calve. It'll tell you all about her. You don't have to enter that. It's all kind of uploaded automatically from Progressive Genetics or whatever insemination company you use. So I like it for that. Another thing I use it for is sprays. All of you know the crack with sprays. I think a lot of it's a load of rubbish, put it that way, but look, you have to do it. So when I go out and I spray, I have my phone on me at all times. It's something you carry with you at all times. And it's very easy just to type in, just be done with it. Just type the thing in, what field you're in, what product you use. You know the kind of crack. If you've done your course, you'll understand. Put it into herd watch and that's it, it's finished. Forget all about it. When you go to do your board BIA inspection and you feel like a real pro because anything you ask you can just click on a button and there it is. Your medicine cabinets, all that. You just, anytime you buy anything in the vets, you can just add it to the medicine cabinet and then you can go into your medicine cabinet digitally and you can use that product and you enter how much of the product you use. So say if you had 100 mLs penicillin or something like that, you go out and you give a cow 25. You'll still have 75 left. So that'll stay in your cabinet until you use it. So it keeps track of everything. It's so good. But one thing I haven't used on it, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't used is to tag calves. So I sat down one night and I seen other people doing it online and they made it look so easy, and I sat down one night and you know something, it's something I should have been doing from day one. When you have an app like that, you're paying a subscription for it every year, you should use it to the maximum and don't be afraid to use it. We're going to register calves here and I'm just going to show you what way we registered. And by the way, we're not sponsored by Herdwatch in any shape or form. We just pay our subscription like anybody else, and we pay our subscription. We're not getting anything off or nothing. We've never talked about it really before on our channel. It's just the fact that we mentioned it the last day and people started asking us loads of questions about it. So if this helps you to register your calves, or if you have Herdwatch already and you haven't registered calves with it, I'm just going to give you an idea of how it works. One calf. So the first thing I do is, I know in here it's Friesian heifers. So I open up my Herdwatch. See that? It just opens straight away. You hit compliance. Calf to register. Give it a little second. Now we're going to add calf. So first thing we know is a female. Now second thing, it shows the last calf that was tagged and registered basically. So the highest registered tag was 928. This one's 929. So this is the next one. Now the next thing you can do is, say we're going to tag this little calf here. This is the smallest calf we have, the little character that you all know well by now. So if we want to tag this calf, all we do is, you can do it a couple of ways. You can enter this number manually, or you can hit scan tag. So I'll hit scan tag, scan it over the barcode, it'll beep. It beeped. There it is, automatically in. You don't have to be moving around, it will get it right every time. Another thing you can do is, you can hit add image and you can go use camera and you can look at the calf. See a photo of the calf. Now the calf has a jacket on it. I don't really bother doing that too often, but you can do it. It'll show the markings of the animal when it has the jacket and things on it if you want. So we'll say we use that photo. So we'll hit use photo and there it is. The image is there. It's stored in the database and that'll always be there. Next thing you do is you go into difficulty calving. So normal calving there. If you want to go in and just check, you'll see some assistance, considerably difficult, and veterinary assistance. So normal calving, this calf was easy enough calved. She nearly backfired and it fell out of her. Anyway, the dam obviously is the mother. So when you click on dam, that's the whole list of your cows. So I'm going to click in what cow that was. Her cow's number was 700. So we're going to go in, look for 700. So we're going to go 700. There it is, popping up. We click on 700. And automatically, it showed what 700 was AI'd to. So it's showing PBM, which is an older bull that we've used quite a lot on the farm. We found great results from it. So there it is. It just goes up straight away. There's no mistakes that can be made. And it's finished, more or less finished. Enter loads of other stuff if you want. That's up to you. But I tend to just leave it like that. You can put in the calf size, you can put in all them things, but to me that's registered enough. So we'll hit save. So it's registering the calf now. If you give it a minute, it's loading. So all I have to enter now is my 6-digit pin. Entered my pin and it says here success. And that just comes up to confirm that registration has been accepted and the document will be sent in the post. That's what it says in the bottom. You click OK and that's it, done. So that's the way we tag our calves. Just throw that in there before we leave. So me and Nicole's going to tag the rest of them here. And we get done and we'll get on to the next job. Right, but the next morning, just feeding the cattle. They're having the meal over there. Every morning I come over here, the first thing I do is I go along the cubicles and I clean the whole cubicles down. The slats are probably clean every 3 days, but one thing I want to say about the slats is these are groove slats, as you can see. And I don't know what it is, maybe it's just because the slats have to kind of wear themselves down, but they're very hard to keep clean. The dung gets it very hard to go down between them. I don't know whether the grooves even actually do an awful lot. The dirt kind of sits in them, especially if the weather starts to get dry. Obviously any slat's going to get slippy, but all through the winter when there was enough wet on the slats to keep them kind of clean, well, you'd think would keep them clean, they're very hard to clean. The ones at home I can run a scraper on them, spotless. Few minutes, everything spotless. Here you run a scraper on them, the dirt sticks in the grooves, and only kind of a disadvantage I have about them. Look at, no cattle has fallen. They're younger cattle, they're not going to be really falling anyway. I just don't know what to make of them. If you've got groove slats yourselves, maybe with dairy cows, yes. If this house was more crowded, probably the slats would keep themselves clean themselves. 15 heifers in here. It's a 3-bay single house, so they need all that room to lay down. Anyway, the cubicles, I have to say, these are the Easy Fix mats. They are a real success. I just come along here every morning and I rub them down nice and clean, and the cattle are spotless clean. If you want to walk over here and have a quick look, the heifers are really clean and really happy. The clipping made a really good job of them, left them nice and clean, and nice shine in them coming there now. They're doing really well. Put on plenty of weight now with the meal. You can see here's the pet coming back here to get ourselves scratched. Exceptionally good house for cattle. It's nice and airy, it's not drafty, the rain never gets into it, so the animals are always really comfortable. So a really good house. I really like this house. And I'm sorry I have to shout a little bit because there's a wind, hell of a wind this morning. There's always windy over here, and these vents, they kind of echo the wind, make it twice as loud as it actually is, and that's why I kind of have to shout it down, and hopefully between it and the radio you can hear me. One thing I do want to mention is this little scraper that I bought. I seen this scraper on Instagram. I've seen it in Louise Crowley's, I've seen it in a couple of other Instagrammers as well, and a couple of people messaged me about it also on YouTube and on Instagram, telling me did I ever see these, I should try them for scraping down cubicles. It's supposed to be a really good job. I got in contact with this lad who makes these. His name's Kevin Bourne. He's a Leitrim man, and he told me that he made one for a neighbour because the neighbour used to buy a stainless steel version of one of these and were really expensive. The neighbour said he wanted to do a good job because it was so expensive, and he says, well, I could have made you one for a quarter of the price. He says I could even get it galvanised if you want to go down that route. And the fella says, well, sure, why don't you make me one? So we did. He made a few steel ones to start out with that weren't galvanised, just to see kind of a prototype, and then he developed them a bit more and changed things a little bit on it as he used it, and then he eventually got them galvanised. It's a good scraper. I've used it at home just before I came over here, and I washed it just to make it look new when I chose to use. I like to see people do well who have invented something that's actually very handy and simple and not over engineered. So let's just try this out and see what it does. The thing about the rubber scraper is if you get any dung that's kind of embedded into the mat, the rubber will just go over it and it will scrape it down clean, but it'll still just go over it, and then eventually it builds up and builds up and builds up. With this is what I liked. You can turn the steel edge over and pull it. Now I'm not putting any pressure on it at the moment, but you can pull it and it will rip off all of that dirt. Flip it over and clean it down with the rubber. How handy is that? And yes, I bought this. I contacted him and I told him I wanted to buy it, and I said if I like it I'll show it to my viewers. If I don't, it'll sit in the corner. And that's just the way I said it. And I don't use a lot of bedding at home, practically none. I just go in 2-3 times a day and I clean down the rubbers, and I find my cows are an awful lot cleaner. We have no trouble with mastitis, and that's the way I do things. Everybody's different, it's just the way I do it. When you have the mats, at the end of the day, that is the comfort underneath the cow. So if you keep them clean and the mats are dry and clean, the cow will be clean, and the cow will generally be more comfortable. You're getting a big girls here. That's another little job I have to do, put that tap back on that hose. The frost just blew it apart, so another little job I have to fix someday. So before I end today's video, huge news for us, and hopefully for you too. All of you that has messaged us about our merch, thank you so much. Thanks so much for people that are actually interested in buying merch of a calving farmer. When we started this channel, we had no intentions of ever doing the like of this. It never was on the cards, but because the channel has grown quite a bit, thanks to you guys for supporting us, it now is on the cards because a lot of you guys requested us, so we've been trying our best over the last few months to put something together. Myself and my wife Sinead work full time, as a lot of you know that are following the channel, and there was no way that we were going to be able to handle merch ourselves and be able to just go down that whole route of posts and packaging, order material, embroidery done, get this and that done. It was just never going to happen. So after going through a lot of different companies, we finally found a company that's going to be able to do all that for us. They're going to handle everything. The sourcing of the produce, the embroidery, the post and packaging, the handling of payments and so on. But it's all going to be done through our shop. There'll be a link in all the upcoming videos in the description where you just click on the link and you'll be fit to go straight to our merch store and buy whichever you choose. Because this company is in Northern Ireland and Brexit came rolling in like a steam train, we wanted to make sure that people weren't going to be paying an extortionate amount of money for postage. That just could not happen. Thankfully you won't be. So you'll be fit to get the item you want without paying crazy postage, so don't worry there. All deliveries will be tracked postage, all with DPD, so no problem there. You'll be fit to track your postage from the minute you purchase till it arrives at your door. What's going to be available? Well, hoodies, as you see here, in a couple of different colours. We're going to have a beanies in a couple of different colours. We're going to have our bobblehead, which will also have grey as well now. The logo actually stands out much better on the grey too, so keep an eye out for that one. We're going to have polo t-shirts. I tried out several samples, but I wanted something that was going to wear well, was going to wash well, and even put through the dryer. Wanted something basically to go through the wringer, wouldn't shrink, fade or fall apart. And we have found a t-shirt that exactly matches that, so I think you're going to be really happy with that polo t-shirt. We'll also have kids overalls. They won't be available just right away on the shop, but they'll be a week after they'll all come online. So a lot of kids overalls there too, and kids seem to like overalls if they're helping mum and dad in the farm, so that's something to keep an eye out for too. We'll have the body warmer that you might have seen me wearing and some of my videos as well. We have that, and we'll also have a jacket version of that body warmer, so a nice dressy jacket. I didn't want one with a big hood on the back of it. I wanted a high collared jacket that was warm but yet not too warm, something that you could wear out and about and it'd actually look very classy. Jacket is something that's more for the mart on a good day, or the plough mart or something like that, because it's a really nice item. So that's it. The 28th of February is the day. You can write that into your diary if you want, if you're looking for something, and please be patient. Don't worry if something is out of stock. Could be a surge. We don't know how this is going to go, but produce is readily available. There's no problem with getting the produce, and we will have it back in stock very soon, so don't worry. You'll always get whatever you're looking for. Some of you might ask, I thought you were putting a post driver into this video. You got rid of your Malone post driver. What happened there? You're right, I did get rid of my Malone post driver, but this video was actually long enough. We had a kind of pre-med before we'd done the job on the post driver, so you'll have to wait until Wednesday or Thursday, so not that long. We'll put up the whole update then of what happened to the post driver and why we decided to get rid of it. So you'll find that all out on Wednesday or Thursday. Another thing that's coming up then on Sunday, oh man, I can't wait for Sunday to show you, because we just took delivery of it last night, is the new slurry tanker. We forked out and we got a new slurry tanker. Wasn't a purchase I planned on making, but I'll tell you all about why I made it on Sunday's video. Don't worry, you're going to see all that in the near future. That's it for the day. If you haven't hit that sub button, now's the time to do it. Give us a like, leave a comment down below. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, all that good stuff. Until the next one, folks, we'll talk to you again.